You are tuned in to the Red and Blue Rivalry podcast, the podcast where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys.
My name is Eric Hernandez, and I'm repping the faithful.
And I am Philip Enriquez, and I'm repping for America's team. And off to the side, my partner here, I can feel the energy. I can feel the confidence growing week after week after week as we sit here in the studio that is my living room.
Yes.
And the confidence is growing, and I believe right before we hit the record button, I heard you say we're about to curb stomp them Washington Redskins.
Yes, we are.
So tell me about this curb stomping. How's it going to happen? How's it going down? Let me know.
Okay, so, this is, any 49ers fan knows, and even Redskins fans know, this is Kyle Shanahan's revenge game. He's got this circled. I mean, Kyle Shanahan lost to the Redskins with, C.J. Beathard when he first came on board, and it was all fun and games. Kyle Shanahan's been waiting and biding his time building this team.
He's pulling a Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And this is his Baker Mayfield.
This is his. He's going to plant some flags.
Yeah.
In Landover. So when I look at this game, the one thing that scares me is simply those are two big emotional games they're coming off. Monday night against the Cleveland Browns and then the game against the Rams. That was the bullies of the division, and we stomped them out. And it's East Coast, 10 o'clock game. I do predict those start slow, maybe a half. It'll take them a little bit of time, the offense, but there's no stopping that defense. That front four is going to eat. There's no Trent Williams. That offensive line is not that great. I expect them to eat on Colt McCoy or Case Keenum or Kirk Cousins or anybody.
Or whoever's behind center.
Whoever's behind center. Okay, bring me back Doug Williams. It won't matter. At the end of the day, I think this defensive line is going to eat. They're going to hold. I wouldn't be surprised if they hold the Redskins to, another 100, 110 yards passing. They stuff the run. And where it's going to be close is that the Niners are still ailing on the offensive line at tackle and fullback, and they're not going to be able to kind of implement their running game. But the Redskins defense will not be able to hold that 49er offense at bay. And I think this is where Kyle Shanahan said 3 weeks ago, that was Nick Bosa's game. Last week, that was George Kittle's game. This week, this is Kyle Shanahan's game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it's looking. And just to get really back to that Washington game, Keenum probably will get to the start. And, I think the San Francisco D-line is going to be all over Keenum. AD's getting up there in age, but he had 100 yards last week. So, you're going to have to keep that in check. Not nothing that's vaunted or daunting, but it's going to have to be done. And then you got McLaurin on the outside who's making big plays. He had 2 touchdowns in the game.
He is the one weapon. He is the one weapon I do kind of like keep my eye on because I feel like he can spring loose against our defense. If Keenum by some way is able to get time to find him, I think he'll find him in our defense. But that's the key is that will he be able to find time? Can we mask that defense enough? Can we put someone in there by the time he does break free? It's already too late.
Right.
He's either running away or looking down, not looking at him.
Right,
that's
he's
the goal.
Footsteps, hopefully.
Exactly. That's the goal. But
on the other side of the ball, though, we haven't talked too much about what you expect the 49ers to do on offense. He said they'd start slow. But again, I think this defense, they have the talent. I don't know what it is about Washington. They haven't put it together. When the Cowboys played them, I was a little worried. I mean, they got some nice names. They got some nice players. Montez Sweat, Deron Payne. I mean, we talked about these guys. Kerrigan's still on that team. I mean, do you feel like they can give the San Francisco offense any kind of fits?
I think if the Niners have to pass, the one thing that I've noticed in this game without our starting tackles, if we have to pass and Garoppolo takes a little longer than he needs to, he'll get sacked. He'll get hit. This defense can hit him, but I just don't think Kyle Shanahan's going to put him in that position. There's no Aaron Donald inside. There's no Myles Garrett on the outside to really worry about in that. And now there's a lot of better, it's the defense as a whole for the Redskins has a little more talent than, what the Rams were able to produce and what the Browns were able to show. So yeah, I don't want to see him hold the ball. They need to establish their running game, which I think they'll be able to do on the inside. And if they can, I'll tell you what, if they can establish the running game, if they can pull off a drive like they did the second drive against the Rams, or the second, I think, or third drive against the Browns, where they were just to march down the field running the ball, wide zone, ISO, all kinds of the other play action that they can do. I just think it's a matter of time. I think that as this game grows, I think the defense is going to be out there far more than they would like. And I think as it keeps going, we're going to take advantage running. I do expect 100 and something yards, 150, 160 yards rushing. Garoppolo with between 210, 220, and just managing the game.
Okay, so let's wrap this thing up. What are you looking for as far as the final score goes?
See, this is interesting because people think I'm being outlandish, but when you look at what they've done, they have beaten every team, save for the Steelers, by double digits. They beat the Bucks by 2 scores.
Yeah.
They blew out the Bengals. They had to turn it over 5 times to keep it close against the Steelers. They blew out the Browns. They beat the Rams by 2 touchdowns. So I'm honestly looking at I'm thinking like 31-13.
Oh, that's a big double digit though.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be similar to what they did to the Browns. I mean, not to the Browns, to the Bengals.
Yeah, I think the 49ers should get anywhere 24, 27 points. I just don't see the Redskins being able to match that throughout the entirety of the game. So I'm going to say, 49ers 24, I'll say Washington 13.